Hello, everybody. It's Laura here. Had a little bit of a too close of a nap for all the exporting videos today, but today I bring you to Kawaii Bomb Cosplay. Thank you for coming on here.
Hello.
So, as I always ask everybody, how did you get into cosplay and knew it was cosplay at the time? For how long ago you actually were doing it?
Okay, so it's kind of a funny story. So I loved costuming when I was a kid, obviously Halloween. And then I remember in elementary school, we read this book about this girl creating tons of dresses.
Yeah.
And I just would always sit in my desk and draw different types of dresses with like different patterns and stuff. So I wanted to be a fashion designer for a while when I was a kid. And then the movie 27 Dresses came out, and you know how, I don't know if you've ever seen that movie.
I have.
But, okay. And you know how she had all these dresses in her closet, and there were like so many, and she went to all these weddings. Well, I fell in love with that movie just because of like all the styles in there too. And then like I love dressing up for Halloween and like, oh my goodness, theme days. I remember one time in middle school, I was cringe. It was Earth Day. I wore a trash bag as a dress, and I put recyclables and garbage on it. I dressed up for every holiday. But then my guy friends, this is how we got to figure out what cosplay was, because I didn't really know. But my guy friends would go to Anime Iowa as a guy weekends thing, and it would only be guys weekend. Sadly, I am a girl, so I wasn't allowed to come. So I turned 18, and I like begged my best friend. I was like, please let me go, please, 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 please. And you'll see in the pictures, I think I put one or two of my first cosplays in there, and they are very badly cringe. And that's when I learned what cosplay was, and I just fell in love with Anime Iowa and the community, and everybody just opened their arms to me. And then it was like, bam, after that I was unstoppable. I joined groups. I started figuring out that there are more conventions like this where I can make more costumes, and I started to feel more comfortable with my own body in certain costumes. So yeah, pretty much when I was a kid I loved dressing up, and then my guy friends would go to Anime Iowa, and it was a guy weekends thing. So, and then I just begged, and ta-da, here I am.
Woo!
Woo!
I'm just still wondering where that hat went. I don't know why it's bothering me so much.
Oh, no worries. I have a bad hair today, so I just put on a wig and a hat. Call me the Strawberry Queen.
So, as to your conventions that you like going to in general, what are some of your best experiences that you've had?
Oh my goodness. So, Anime Iowa, there's never going to be a bad time, honestly. I've always had so much fun. It's my big family con for sure. But I do remember in C2E2, not this one, but the one before everything got shut down with COVID, I finally was able to meet Aunt Lucia. Yeah. He's the designer of the DC Bombshells characters that I cosplay a lot. They're a lot of the pinup DC characters, and I was crying. I was screaming, I was fangirling. I made an embarrassment of myself, I'll tell you that. Because I saw him at QuadCon this year, and I apologized. I was that girl who was crying and screaming when I met you, and I'm sorry about that.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. But and then just all the friends that I've gathered, like not gathered you per se, but like I've met. At a con, I'm really able to be myself. In my normal life, I feel like I can't really be myself in like my day-to-day life, especially in college. I felt like I wasn't able to be myself. My jobs. But when I go to a con, I can just be that vibrant person that's everywhere, talks to everyone. No one looks at me like, okay, who's this weird chick trying to talk to me? They're like, oh my gosh, I love your cosplay. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I love your cosplay. Hey, are you going to the rave later? Or hey, how did you make your prop? Like, it's just a conversation after another conversation. And I've met some friends that I dearly will take to my grave with me. Like, I want them to be at my funeral because of how much relationships with people at cons are. It's a big thing for my mental health too, I feel like. going to a con every 3 months really helps.
I can agree with that, actually. It's very therapeutic.
Right, and I feel like also with some of the conventions I've been with, like, I'm not going to speak too much on the situation, but something bad happened at the convention, and there were these people I barely knew, and they helped me out of this really crappy situation at Daisho, and I forever will always be friends with them. Like, they make me feel safe, I trust them, and I mean, they got me out of a crappy situation, and I'm just grateful to have people like that, because I know people think cons sometimes are kind of sketch, but they're really not. I feel like the con community is so welcoming with open arms and loving and caring that they will, like, throw their, like, you know, they'll take off their own clothes and give them to you. I feel like they're going to do anything for you.
Heck yeah, man.
Yeah.
So, as to, with the COVID situation that happened beginning of, or in more like 2018 to currently of 2022, how did that all affect it for you?
Affect cosplay or my life?
Both.
So I was in college. I just graduated in May, actually. Like, you know, not this May, obviously, because it hasn't happened, but the May before. So obviously we had to wear masks. You know, we had online schooling. Cons that I had already not applied to, but like registered, were like and canceling, and I was just screaming and crying because I was just like, no. But obviously, as that time is, I was an activity person at a nursing home, so I knew how important it was to stay indoors and to stay out of events like that because of how many people I saw that were being affected by COVID. When I worked at the nursing home, we lost a lot of people due to COVID, and I could see that firsthand, you know.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate to hear that.
But I did also work on some cosplay, but I feel like also my inspiration went down a little bit. Like, I would take screenshots of ideas, but I feel like it was hard to keep my content going on my Instagram. Like, I've been cosplaying since I was 18 years old, and I'm finally at 1,000 followers on Instagram, and like, that's not something that needs to be a thing, but I feel like in the cosplay community, people are really hounded on like your followers and how many people are actually looking at you. And so I think I took that a lot to heart, because I was like, wow, with all these things getting canceled and all these plans I had, is anyone really going to get to know who I am or know who Kawaii Bomb Cosplays is? Am I ever going to go do a convention again?
I can see.
Mm-hmm. You got a lot of people.
I'm just like, hey guys, how you doing?
They're following you or liking you. I don't really know how Twitch really works yet.
I'm still figuring it out. Like, straight up.
I'm going to set up soon and do some Twitch with League. Eventually.
Oh, it's... Hey, eventually. Is eventually. And not like, oh, too late. Ah.
Yeah.
So for your cosplays that I've got coming up here, I've got... Well, why did you get off the pictures? Oh my gosh. Purple jumpsuit cosplay to your Flash, and then going down the line that way is what I'm going by.
Am I able to see them?
The purple jumpsuit of your foot over your helmet with a gun.
Oh yeah, so that is Starfire. It's a deviant art, if that's how you say it. Somebody drew. I've had that in my a screenshot of the art for so long, and I was like, I had this cosplay actually done for C2E2, but silly old me, with all the cosplays I was bringing to the convention, forgot the suit that I made behind my door on my mirror, so it didn't get wrinkled.
Aww.
So I got it to Amki instead.
Big sad. The big sad, man. That big sad.
Yeah, I was very big sad, not gonna lie.
And then you have your Go-Go Flash Bombshell Girl.
I actually don't know what you're talking about. I can't really see the photos. Is there a way to see them, or...
Open your messenger.
Oh. I'm not good at this. Okay.
The red-yellow outfit with the roller skates.
Oh, with the milkshake?
Yeah.
That is Jessie Quick. That is one of Aunt Lucia's design of the DC Bombshell character of Jessie Quick. And I basically made everything. And those roller skates, I got to finally wear at a convention. Because Anime Iowa, they said I couldn't wear them in the building. So I wore them outside for a little bit. And the photographer that did those photos are Mixed Media May.
Very dope. What, like, how did you learn about the character, too?
So I think a long time ago, when everybody, like, when I was just starting to get into cosplay, my biggest cosplayer that I loved cosplaying was Zatanna. Like, she's always been my favorite, and so I would start, like, I don't know if I ever no, I did not. So, she was, like, my second cosplay, and I made her very modest because in my sense, I didn't know how to be okay wearing, you know, basically lingerie. In my head it was. At a convention, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't do that. I was raised in a foster home, so I was like, they were really big on modesty, and they're really big on, like, hiding everything until you're married. No thanks. But and so I took that with me even into cosplay. And I remember the first time I did Zatanna, I used spandex shorts instead of, like, lingerie or underwear. And, like, I used like a what's you call it, a suit jacket, because I was like, I can't have everything show. But I fell in love with Zatanna, and I have always loved her in the comics and stuff. And then I learned that there were more versions of her that people have created. And then I saw his version. I've been very big into pinup stuff. Like, I've always think it's very sexy and beautiful. And honestly, every 4th of July, you'll see me in a pinup outfit because that's just literally me. I love it. And when I found that art of it, of the Zatanna one, which is in your pictures.
Yeah.
He's the one that's holding the bunny, if you can see what I'm talking about.
The bunny.
There's me standing and holding a bunny with a big bow on my corset. And I have a top hat on.
So wait, hold up. Which one are you going with here? Because I'm trying to find the bunny now.
This is my Zatanna one. The background is gray.
Yeah, with the candy cane.
Candy cane.
I'm like...
No. That's my Christmas Zatanna. But
okay, you threw me off there. I was like...
Yeah, you were asking how I got into the bombshells.
Yeah.
And it was because I found out what Zatanna was. And then what I do every con is I cosplay another bombshell. Because eventually I'm going to make a calendar of each bombshell that I've cosplayed.
Oh, wait. There's the bunny. I was like, wait, what? I'm looking. I'm like, ah! So, going to
okay.
The Wendy's.
I talk a lot. I apologize.
That's all good. And then you got your Wendy cosplay here. I didn't even know the Wendy's Wendy's girl with hammer.
It's actually not Wendy's.
Oh, this is Poppy.
That's Poppy. That's also like Mixed Media May. That's Ragdoll Poppy.
Heck yeah, man. I was like, wait a second. Giant hammer. Pigtails.
Yeah, not Wendy's. I did get called that quite a few times at the convention. It broke my heart just a tiny bit. But I wore that one at NebCon.
Oh my gosh. It's just the hammer. I'm just... Oh, she was telling me about your Sammy cosplay because, we were while I was interviewing her. Yeah, she told me all the actual things, and she told me about the giant trick-or-treat Sam Lollipop.
Yes.
I'm like...
I'm 4'9", so I like to make all my props way bigger than me because I feel like it makes me look even smaller. And, like, what person who's tall gonna make their prop as tall as them. Normally they make it half the size of them. So why don't I make my prop taller than me? So normally my props are around 5 foot, 5 foot and a half. It just depends.
Yeah.
That hammer, it's 20 pounds.
Oof.
And I think it's about 5'2", maybe. I'm 4'9". I don't know. I'm not good at the measurements, but yeah.
Heck yeah, man. And then with your Annie here, what got you wanting to do Annie?
I love League and I love small characters. Again, hence I'm small. And so I really like the Yordles and I really like League and I really like Annie. And so so the funny thing is that bear is actually from Valentine's Day. I bought it for $20 after Valentine's Day during, the pandemic.
Yeah.
And I had plans for it. I was going to, rip it to shreds, which I did. Can't really see in this picture, but I took out both of his eyes and replaced them with buttons and thread and lit it up. And then I ripped up inside of his heart, basically.
Oh.
And stuffing. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That bear is underneath my bed, actually, right now. But I was really excited about that one. And the bear, it was only 4 foot, though. I could not get, sadly, one that was 5 feet.
Oh, so that bear is actually, super big.
Yeah, when I was at Anime Iowa, I took an old backpack, I took the straps, and I sewed the straps into the bear, and I wore him around like a backpack.
Very cool.
There was no use for him as a backpack because there was no backpack inside. He just had straps.
Yeah. And then getting to the Lollipop Poppy.
Yep. I really love Poppy, and my plan is to cosplay all of her skins. Who knows how long that will take me, but it will happen. I will tell you that.
Wait until you get to the firefighter. That was what I made during the
pandemic. That cosplay I made during the pandemic because that was supposed to be for Anime Detour before it got canceled. And that lollipop is made out of pool noodles, hot glue, and duct tape. Who would have thought?
Actually, yeah. Ooh, there we go. I'm just like, something's in my... Yeah, no, honestly, that is pretty darn cool. Heck yeah, man.
I was pretty excited to wear
I remember seeing your song go for me, Yasha.
Yes, that actually is one of my favorites that I've worked on during, last year. Because it's been a dream of mine to do it. And that boomerang is way taller than me. Yeah, obviously.
By a whole nother foot.
And it's very heavy. I felt like I grew a couple muscles at Anime Iowa wearing it. I made everything in that costume besides the actual base, the suit.
Yeah.
The suit is a regular Zentai suit, and then I just I did the whole design up here.
Yeah.
And then I did the armor, and I did the mask, and I did the boomerang, and I helped design the wig.
Okay. I'm going to put my hood up. And then the Zatanna with the bunny, you were already talking about that one.
That one is also really special to me. I actually got in a car accident before this convention. This was Anime Iowa when it was in Des Moines. Before it went back. So it was the first year in Des Moines. Not the second year in Des Moines, but the first year in Des Moines. Before it went, because it was in Des Moines twice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the first year was in Des Moines, that's where it was. 3 weeks before this convention, I got in a car accident, and I really messed up my back. My significant other at the time had to help me because I was hand sewing this whole cosplay. And so he had to help me. I hand sewed everything on a corset, and the shorts are basically made out of underwear, and then I sewed buttons into it, and then the tail is also hand sewn.
Very nice.
Yeah, that cosplay, I've retired it because the boning has came out, but I will bring her back, I think in 2023, for sure. She's really close to my heart, I'll tell you that, because I was on pain pills like crazy at the convention because I was in so much pain standing.
Ouch. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ah.
Yeah.
Ouch, 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 ouch. Let's try
But
and
he
make...
helped me, so it's okay. You know, I wasn't able to like really do much. So thank goodness for him at that time.
Yeah, buddy. And then, moving to the next one, we've got That's not Coraline, is it?
That is Coraline. So in college, we all people dress up for Halloween, and I always do for college is I do a character that I would never do at a convention. I don't really like bot cosplays. There's nothing wrong with them. I just don't feel good about myself in them as much. And so for Halloween, that's when I do cosplays that I buy pieces and put together.
Yeah.
So like one year I did Mavis. So like I wouldn't wear Mavis to a convention because I don't know, I don't feel like wearing it. That's more of a Halloween thing for me. And then another year I did Vanellope. Oh, not Vanellope. No, I do Vanellope at conventions. What was it? I did Coraline. That's what we're talking about. Sorry, my brain
That's
is.
all good.
But Coraline, I love the movie. Like, I'm obsessed. I have literally her doll underneath my bed.
Ooh, now that's fancy, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I love Coraline. I just don't have her star shirt, but once I do, oh yeah, I'm definitely will probably wear it to a convention. But I wore that to class. Yes, I am that weird kid. In college, I wore my costumes to class.
Oh yeah.
And that's a real button on my eye.
A button on your eye?
Yeah, you can't, like, there's one eye you can see, and then the other one you can't.
Oh, the Coraline. I was like, wait a second. You wore the one that's black and white to school?
Which
your
one?
porcelain doll looking witch costume?
No, that's actually Death.
Oh, okay.
From the DC Bombshells again. Like I said, Aunt Lucia turns the characters into like a pinup theme, and she's like a pin-themed nurse. And so these were also done by a photographer in my small town when I was in college.
Yeah.
I think they've changed their name, but it was like Skyway or something. And that's Real Fire, by the way. I stood by Real Fire. We lit up a vehicle.
Ooh.
Yeah, we lit up a vehicle and the pieces, and we put them in front of me, and I just leaned over it. It was great because it was freezing. But yeah.
Hey, you gotta stay warm, my dude. And then seeing after you even just talked about freezing in your blue winter-looking character, Smurfette? No, it's not Smurfette.
No, I get that.
No, Smurfette's blonde. Come on, guys.
Killer Frost. It's Killer Frost.
You know, there have been actual groups that have been like, man, we don't have that many Killer Frosts. I'm like, yeah, no, honestly, we don't. We really, really don't.
Yep. That's the DC Bombshell version, again, of Killer Frost. And I was actually... my first competition was a hall cosplay. I won, so that was pretty cool. I'm not gonna say the con because I don't go to those cons anymore, but I went to that con and I won, which was pretty cool. But I really love that cosplay. I wore that one actually to C2E2 this year, and that was me retiring it.
Nice,
because I was like, all right.
And then you got your Zatanna with the top hat.
Yes, that was my first version of her, being modest and all. I am a very chunky girl at that time, but I was doing my best trying to portray the picture that I found of her. It's progress, okay? That was my second con.
It's okay. It's okay. And then we see that you're in your Tifa.
That was my first cosplay ever.
And who's it there that you're with?
That's another Tifa.
Just rando?
That's an Anime Iowa. Trying to remember her name right now is kind of blank. But I met her at Anime Iowa, and she was really sweet. And honestly, I was very nervous because I was like, oh my goodness, I'm in this cosplay, and because my guy friends were like, okay, but if you go, we gotta figure out cos plans for you, and I'm like, oh my gosh,
Oh
I
my
don't know what I'm gonna
gosh.
do.
Oh my gosh, guys.
And then I was like, type in easy cosplays to do in a week, and so I start looking up, and my first two cosplays were Mario and Tifa.
Let's go! Oh! Here I
But
come.
honestly, no one treated me different at the con. And you know what? Thank goodness, because I think if they did, I wouldn't have fell in love with cosplay.
Very nice. And you got your Bulma Bunny. I do remember you in this cosplay as well.
That is my party cosplay. It was very big for me for a party cosplay for quite a few cons. I have pretty much retired her. She doesn't come out very often anymore, but she was my big, like, woohoo, let's have fun, you know? But
Absolutely.
I saw her at Detour for the first time, and then I took her to Anime Iowa, and then I took her to other cons.
Yeah, buddy. And then we got a ninja.
No, it's Year of the Hair from Inuyasha.
I was gonna say, is it Demon Slayer?
Nope. My first Demon Slayer will be at Anime Detour, and I'm gonna do Nezuko, but
Okay.
this one is Year of the Hair. This was my first time using a sewing machine and not hand sewing everything, which was pretty awesome.
Oh yeah.
The lady at my college, her name was Sabrina, and she worked in the ACE, which is to help like kids with like tutoring, helping in school, just like honestly just a really good I really liked the ACE. That's where I was at a lot. But her mom sewed with a sewing machine, and I wanted to learn because I always just hand sewed everything, and that hurts sometimes when you're constantly taking fabric and hand sewing piece by piece.
Yes.
And so I hand sewed this. I didn't hand sew this one, but I hand sewed my other ones. But this one right here, first time on a sewing machine, and now I love using my sewing machine. But
Yeah.
that is Year of the Hair, and I love her because I felt so confident at Detour in that one.
Nice.
And that's kind of when I threw out like my modesty rules away, obviously, because see from like the first couple cosplays, you're like,
Right. Hey, we all cringe at one point in our life, and then I see where you actually went a little bit better further into the Tifa cosplay.
I wore that to a con we do not speak of, but I redid her, and I felt a lot better in her. Actually, you know, gave her the justice she needed, I feel.
There you go. Not a bad idea, honestly. And then you got Wreck-It Ralph girl.
Yes, that is the one that I'm very known for. Vanellope Von Sweets is honestly one of my favorite characters. I honestly was debating on cosplaying her tonight, but I really didn't want to get into my bins that are really, really up way high.
Oh.
And I have to put them back. So, I know. It's okay. I have very big plans with her in the Des Moines area. I don't want to say too much because I don't want someone to steal my idea. But I have some very big plans with her to work with kids with.
Yeah.
Kind of like I can't say it, but it's more like a princess party thing. But there's bigger and better things with it. But Vanellope Von Sweets was one of my favorite cosplays, and I feel very comfortable. I feel like myself. She's small like me. She's like, wow, out there.
Oh yeah.
So, during the quarantine, I did make 2 duct tape Reese's Peanut Butter Cup skirts, which I'm very excited to wear.
Okay, that's actually pretty cool. I'm just like,
right?
Wait.
So like in that one, she doesn't have a Reese's Peanut Butter skirt.
Yeah.
When I wore her, this is when the movie came out with Ralph Breaks the Internet, and my friends and I liked cosplaying, and I was like, I'm gonna go as Vanellope. I'm going to that as the movie. And then I called businesses around, and I was like, hey, actually, because I was in a small town. I wasn't in the Des Moines area or Waterloo area or anything like that. I was in a small town where it's
Small.
You know,
Very
not
small.
many people are like into anime and cosplay and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so I called like the movie theater. I was like, hey, would you guys be down for like a Vanellope and some princesses showing up for the premiere of the movie? And they were like, yeah, that'd be so cool. And I was like, awesome. So I told my friends, and we went to one in Garner, and they were the sweetest people ever. The kids loved it. You know, they got to see Vanellope and princesses.
Very
And
dope.
then, like, they even let us watch the movie for free and gave us, free snacks.
Ooh.
It was really fun. And then we went to the one in Mason City. And that one was pretty fun, too, because the kids were like, oh, I'm going to take a picture with princesses and Vanellope. And so, she's definitely one of my favorites. And I definitely will never retire her just because she makes me so happy.
Yeah. Hey, that's at least, that's the best part about cosplay. You'll always want to wear something because it's something you love.
Right, and if there's ever anyone that needs a Vanellope in their princess groups, fine.
So, moving on to the Zatanna, where you have the wand above you. Getting more in, like, risque type adult positions for, not the bombshell one, or this is Pinup Girl?
No, that is the bombshell one. I just gave you a bunch of photos because I didn't know if you wanted, like, professional ones or just selfies.
Oh, it works with whatever.
I didn't know how many costume pictures you wanted. But yeah, that's the same one. The next one to the side is Raven, the DC bombshell. I've done more than her. I've also done Huntress as well.
Ooh.
And I just did a DC bombshell Harley, but it was Valentine's themed. I'm still waiting on my photos from Eric, but yeah. That one I made for another con we don't speak of. You know, sometimes
I know.
You go to these conventions and you don't know the real the real things that happen behind it and who's actually hosting them. And then you finally get to know, like, okay, obviously I don't want to be a part of this. I'm going to stop going. I did wear her to C2E2, but I've made everything that I'm wearing. And the cape glows and, like, it lights up.
Yeah.
I put all these LED lights in it and everything.
And I'll point them out, too, for the audience. Like, the little spectacle stuff she's talking about, everybody. Lights, 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 lights.
Yeah, that one I also retired. I love her, but she's done. I have my professional photos of her. I've worn her 3 times. So I try not to wear my cosplays more than 3 times, and honestly, most of them don't get worn that much anyways. I make about 3 to 4 new cosplays each convention. But in reality, it's more like 6 or 7. I feel like Anime Iowa, I had like 6 or 7 cosplays, not including my party cosplays.
Yeah. It's a lot of cosplays. Like, a lot of cosplays.
I'm getting a storage unit next week.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, because it's taken a lot of my apartment space.
Just like, I know the feeling.
Yeah, my props are literally behind our couch right now because they're just too big to fit in my closet, and they just can't fit in my room right now.
Yeah. But okay, as to other future conventions, you want to give people a heads up where they can find you?
Yeah, so in 24 days, I'll be at Anime Detour. I will be bringing Sango. I'm hoping to actually enter the competition for the first time because I've never actually entered a masquerade. So cross your fingers. I am a theater kid, but I have stage fright when I'm being judged.
Oh, you good? You good? Don't worry.
So cross your fingers. But I will be there. I'm very pumped to come back after it's been, shut down for basically 2 years. Anime Detour is also a con that's really close to my heart. I met a lot of my good friends there. And then after that, I will be at ASIN, first time. So if you see me, say hi. I love hugs. Obviously, COVID. So if you don't want to give me a hug, that's cool. I get it. I love hugs. And then the next one will be Colosso for my first time as well. So I'm super pumped. A swimsuit con plus partying. Woo woo! So excited. And like, who doesn't like turning their like cosplays into swimsuit versions? So I'm pretty excited for that one. And I'm gonna be doing a lot of League for sure. Lots.
That's actually really cool.
And then after that is Anime Iowa. And then after that would be Anime Fusion. And then after that would be
Pretty cool.
hold on, give me a second. Like months. Oh, you would have Colossal North, because that show is sadly gone. And now we have Colossal North. So I'm pretty pumped for that one. And then maybe I'm hoping, I really, really, really want to go to Hallmat. I've never been on a plane, and I will do it for cosplay.
That's gonna be a little bit of money.
But honestly, I'm pretty good at budgeting, and my job is really good at giving me time off. I work Monday through Friday, and my weekends, that's when I kind of work on cosplay and everything else.
Alrighty, and then as to social medias, as where people can follow you, support you, give you love.
I'm not very good at posting cosplay like makes and stuff on my Instagram. I don't know why. I think it's just because I've been so Snapchat oriented my whole life.
Yeah.
Like, not my whole life, but like throughout, like just getting into Instagram life and how it is. But it's Ash Smashes 18. It should be in the link whenever he puts it.
Yeah, buddy.
Then my TikTok and my Instagram is Kawaii Bomb Cosplays. Honestly, I can't remember why I chose that name. I think it's because I always say feeling kawaii on my Snapchats. And then bomb, because the bombshells that I really love cosplaying. And then cosplays. So I think that was the reasoning. Because I remember when I was starting it, I was like, because I was starting to put on my personal Instagram.
Yeah.
And I was like, I should maybe make one for my cosplay. And that's kind of how it happened.
Right on,
Because I think when I tried one on Facebook, it was such cringe. I was like smashing ashes. I don't know why. I listened to somebody. They said, that would be a great name for your cosplay. I said, no! And I stopped that one. And then you can find me on Facebook as Ashlea Jenkins. It's Ashlea. Please don't call me anything else.
Ashlea.
Or call me Ash.
Ash or Ashlea?
Ashlea, yep.
Alright, right on. Everybody follow up Ashlea's Kawaii Bombshell social medias and all that other fun stuff. And thank you, Ashlea.
Yeah, no problem. This was a lot of fun. Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, guys, we'll have all the links in the description below. Thanks for tuning in. And other than that, peace out, Girl Scouts.
All right. Bye.